we'll start off with the very first thing I ever bought, the doorknobs. That was within the first week of the video. I paid $400 for them, and so far received a total of $1,190.57. Now that is proceeds I have actually received from the selling app. So that's after shipping, after fees, after everything. So my total net profit to date on that is $790.57. So you might also be asked how I'm actually keeping track of this stuff. I keep a running spreadsheet of every single transaction. We have the date, the item name, what the actual sales price was, which I've actually stopped keeping track of as much because it's kind of irrelevant. The proceeds, so that's the money that eBay actually gave me after they took out their selling fees. Costs, which would, if I did a promoted listing on eBay, I would subtract that. Then the shipping, and then the profit is obviously the proceeds minus the cost and the shipping. So I do that for every single transaction. Now, I know some people have asked me to include a spreadsheet in the end figure, and I've actually put a considerable amount of thought into this. On one hand, I don't see how it could aid the story or the video in any particular way. I think really what it would do is give, Reddit moderators the ability to audit me. I saw in cells 20D, you meant to put 1261 and you put 1216. I don't really see an upside in it. I know my records are accurate, and I've actually compared my numbers to eBay's payout numbers, and it was within a couple dollars of each other. So my numbers are accurate. I had traded 12 doorknobs for some breakers, and also I had gotten breakers from an electrician in month 2 that you guys saw. So I had the 12 doorknobs plus $40. Total would be $52 I spent on breakers, and so far I've gotten back $68.23. So then getting into our next lot that I bought, which was the lot of instruments. I paid $200 for them. That was in the second week of this whole series, and so far I've sold a majority of them. I have received back $797.16 for a total net profit $597.16. At the end of each month, I give a number that is total money received from eBay and Mercari and everything. After shipping and fees, the cost of goods sold for the month is subtracted out of that, and then that end figure is what I actually tell you. Now, I obviously do round. In month 2, I said I made $200, and I actually made $229.33. After that, I bought faucets. I paid $40 for the 6 of them, and so far I have received back $0. I have not sold a single one yet. It will sell at some point. I might have to bring down the asking price. After that, we have the paper towel dispensers. I paid $28 for 3 of them, and so far I have received back $141.58 for a total net profit of $113.58. After that, we have the Lutron switches and breakers. I paid $450 total. $250 was for the breakers initially, and then while I was there, I paid another $200 for the Lutron switches. Sold a majority of them for a total of $1,158.75 for a total net profit of $708.75. And that's another quick point. A lot of people have asked me, I think you're calculating your profit wrong. Yes and no. So on a balance sheet, if I'm a candy store owner, let's say I sold 10 pieces of candy that day for a total of $10, and it cost me $1 for the candy, so 10 cents each. I wouldn't each day, put in total sales, $10, cost of goods sold, $1. What you would do is whenever you got that candy shipment in, that expense goes into your cost of goods sold category. So that actually is more accurate, especially when you take into consideration the way that I buy stuff. I buy everything or majority of the stuff in lots. For me to go through individually and assign a different value to each thing. Something like the instrument lot is a perfect example. On average, I paid $14 per item, but the clarinet sold for $25, and I had a saxophone that sold for well over $200. You'd have to put percentages on each thing, and maybe you could, but that type of brain damage is not something I'm interested in. So the way that I look at it is I paid $200 altogether. Once I got all of my money back and recouped, now everything else is profit. It's a much simpler way of looking at it, and it actually is more realistic. I paid $200 for everything. Some of it I'm going to have to throw out, and some of it I'm going to get $1,000 for. Thrift stores. I don't know exactly how much I've spent at the thrift stores, but so far I've received $255.44. So that's after shipping and after fees. Now, the manganese glass. I paid $535 for that lot, which was a little bit crazy, but I made some mistakes with that. I think I was honest about it. I knew about uranium glass, and that's what the kid was telling me it was. And I had looked into uranium glass. It has high sell-through rate, and the average sales price per item was $17. So I thought in my head, I'll pay $5 for fees and then just over $5 for me. The sell-through rate on it was like 100%. So I thought I would just turn it all over, but that wasn't the case. And so far to date, I have only received back $73.76 for a total net loss of $461.24. Could have ended that month one, closer to, I don't know, $2,300 and not had that. But moving on to something that actually was a good deal was the mail slot. And now I actually want to talk about that really briefly. A lot of the time, I don't necessarily get a good deal the first thing that I make an offer on. The breakers that I bought from that guy, it was fine. I did okay with it. But the Lutron switches were a much, much better thing. It's just when those hundreds start coming out that people start finding other stuff because they want more of them. That was a perfect example with the mail slots as well. I think in total I bought about 30 of them, $50 even. And so far, I have sold 2, total of $23.17 after shipping and fees. So I'm in the hole about $36.83. Yeah, $36.83. But I've actually sold 2. I had to refund somebody because one of them was a little bit damaged, so I refunded a little bit of the money, half the money back. I still have a lot of them left, and they do turn over. That is a great deal. They'll sell through, and I'll probably realistically make about $500 on it for $50. Next up, we have the electrician, who I went and bought all that stuff from in month 2. I wound up giving him $165, but 40 of that was for the breakers, which was already accounted for, so for a total of $125. And so far back, after shipping and fees, I have received $75.27. Yeah, so I'm in the hole $49.73. But I will get my money back. I have a couple of big items left. So next up we have audio lot that I got from the same guy I got from the instruments. I paid $700 from that, and so far back in the first 3 months, I have got back $317.05. Now, a lot of you said, oh, don't buy it, don't buy it. Listen, the reality is I did take a loss on that turntable, no question whatsoever. But you're looking at a very short time span, and especially in that case, I had been listing that stuff day by day. So at the end of month 3, all that stuff hadn't even been 100% listed yet. So I'm in the whole $382.95, I think. Yeah, $382.95, or 700 minus 317. Or is that? Yeah. Yep. No. Yeah. $382.95. Okay, I'm right on that. We have the box of clothes that I got from my friend. There was clothes and there was a couple other toys. You know, made different deals with them, like on those toys and stuff. I think I paid like $5 or $10 depending on what it was. But the clothes, I don't really like clothes, and there was like a lot of stuff in there that was, you know, like promotional stuff and like stuff I'm gonna have to just throw away. So I was like, dude, whatever. I'll take the good with the bad, $1 a piece. Whatever you want to get rid of. And so far back on that lot, I have got back $62.88. So that was not bad. Really, those toys really helped out. Our Zin codes. And so far, I've sold a bunch of Zin codes for a total of $321.04. I did actually pay for them. Obviously, I bought Zin, but I wasn't buying them for the codes. So I know to date, I have spent right about $200 on shipping supplies, but I still have the majority of them. The most amount of money I spend on one order shipping supplies would be the largest stuff, a large box like this. It's $1.64. The bubble wrap on it is about a penny a foot. So it's none of that stuff is very expensive. The most I'm really spending is $2 per order on the most expensive thing to ship it. That's why I don't really take it into consideration. It's somewhat irrelevant. Now, these large boxes that I did pay a lot of money for, I only bought a couple of them, and I only used it for that big doorknob order because they are double-sided and they're huge, so they're super strong. About $15, I think, after taxes and everything, on a $450 order. Who cares?
Next up, we have the board games. I paid $300 total. So far back, I've gotten $44.18 for a total net loss of $255.82. And lastly, we have the coins. I paid $250 total, and I've gotten back $109.23 for a total net loss of $140.77.
This has been the quarterly earnings report for the Analog Money Project, and that's all of the money I have received through my eBay listings. If I put this into every video, there's just way too much. That end would be way too long. So I think just giving the figure at the end and then doing a dedicated video to kind of break down everything piece by piece is really a better idea. But if you guys like it, I'll make more of them. And if not, obviously, this will be the only one.